Yeah, look, this is
Wow.
these are my grandfathers, Pastor Dirukira and Pastor
Yeah.
Basa Kenzi. Okay.
While music is a wide spectrum that everyone is familiar with, music programming comes off like a hidden chapter only teachers know about.
At over 1 million views on YouTube alone. Just imagine the other websites, the World Stars, the On Smashes. If you aggregate all of that, you'd be shocked.
Unfortunately for us, one of those teachers is the celebrated Tuma Basa.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Okay, yeah, I'm here.
Hey, check.
All right, the flag.
That's over here. Hold on.
Having worked at Revolve, Spotify, MTV, Rap Caviar, and now director of urban music at YouTube, today IGIHE opens a conversation with the international and yet local phenomenon on his past and present experience, his family, and the future of the music industry.
Is there any scoop, any new features that we could know in advance?
No. My name is Tumaini Basa Nyanzi. Tumaini means hope in Swahili. I was named after my dad went to high school in Tanzania, so I was named after one of my dad's Tanzanian high school buddies. And Basani Nyenzi is my surname. It's my grandfather's name. Who recently passed away. I was born in Lubumbashi, Zaire. When I was 5 years old, we moved to America. And then when I was 13, we moved back to Zimbabwe. We moved to Zimbabwe, and then we lived in Zimbabwe about 6 or 7 years. And from Zimbabwe, we came back to the U.S. And then I went to University of Iowa. Worked BET. I worked at MTV. I worked at Revolt. I worked Spotify. And now I work at YouTube.
Yeah. What were you studying in
I
college?
studied economics. I went to BYU for a year, and then I transferred to University of Iowa. My father, right, got his PhD from the University of Iowa.
Wow, yeah.
So I lived in Iowa when I was a kid, and then I came back and I went to the same school my father went to.
So when did the journey of like working for these big companies start?
I mean, not all of them were big companies when I worked for them. BET was. I worked for BET before BET was sold to Viacom, and I think it expanded more after that sale. Revolt was a startup. Revolt with that's Puff Daddy's TV station. So it was just beginning. I was one of the first employees, and so that wasn't a big company at that time. MTV was pretty established. Spotify has grown more, and then YouTube is relatively in comparison to the other companies. YouTube is because YouTube is worldwide. YouTube reaches so many people, and it's a part of our lives. Like we learn on YouTube, we listen to music on YouTube, we watch old TV shows or what, I don't know. We do so many things on YouTube, like public health stuff.
You, as your career or your title right now is music production, right? Programming. Sorry, music
Yeah,
programming.
so my my trade is music programming, but I do more than I don't do music programming right now, right? So basically, right now is anything that has to do with music, specifically Black music, whether it's whether it be the relationship with the music community, whether it be general strategy for the music program, whether it be public. I'm just in different parts of music, like you know what I'm saying. I go in between. I go in between.
Yeah. So really, okay. So you moved to work at YouTube in 2018. Yeah. So how did that opportunity come? How did it start?
Leo Cohen. You know Leo Cohen?
Yeah,
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So Leo Cohen in the hip hop world, I mean, he's beyond legendary. He was the CEO of Def Jam during its heyday. Um, uh, he was CEO of like Warner. He founded a very successful label called 300 that has
Yeah.
Young Thug and Megan Thee Stallion, and it had Fetty Wap is on there. So he's had a lot of successes, and I've had a lot of respect for him for many years. So he brought me there.
Yeah. So how is the environment at YouTube?
The environment YouTube is it's very forward thinking, right? So it's
Yeah.
a lot of conversations are very looking into the future. It is figuring out how innovations or how we can get better and how we can adapt to new needs every day. You know, and also you have to remember something. I'm in the music department, right? And in the music department, there's always something happening. There's always someone, a new artist emerging. There's always new songs. It stays exciting. There's always some new technology. There's always news events that affect our decisions. There's so much. It's actually pretty exciting.
All right. So we would want to ask you, do you follow the Rwanda music industry? Yeah.
I follow it to just an extent, you know, to an extent. It is what I get shared in. I'm in WhatsApp groups,
Yeah.
and so music gets shared on WhatsApp groups, and then I have friends there like Bebina or you know what I mean, or DJ Makeda or there's so many people that I follow. Eric Caviar, there are all these guys. I follow them on social media, so I see their posts and everything, you know. And I have a lot of cousins, all my cousins also, you know.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So we were trying to like because you did an interview that you talked about culture duality, like how you find Nigerian music now really starting to pop into the States and having really this impact. Do you really think, how does it really actually, you know, go forward to coming from one country to another? How do you think music can really transcend that kind of like barrier?
How does music transcend cultural barriers?
I would say like how would Nigerians find a way to bring the music into the States and actually really bring an impact? How does it really happen?
Utilizing the diaspora is
Yeah.
they have a large diaspora. It's so interesting. We're talking about diasporas. Rwanda, we know the power of the diaspora is when you keep a connection. When you keep a connection, you know what I mean. So much more can be done, right? So much more in terms of joining forces, in terms of resources, in terms of knowledge exchange. So what happens is that sense of oneness. You know what I'm saying? Is that that level of unity, that level of progress happens. Yeah.
Do you miss Rwanda? Do you miss something here?
Of course. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Of course, I miss Rwanda. I miss because you have to remember is before COVID, I used to come to Rwanda like twice a year, maybe once or twice a year. You know what I mean? So now COVID and the travel restrictions, I can't miss as. I mean, I can't visit, and I said, you know, the culture, the people, I miss it. Yeah, of course I miss it. Yeah, and then even going to Gisenyi and you know, I mean, Lake Kivu and seeing it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Driving through Musanze and seeing the people walking and the with the sticks, the long sticks and the hats and you know, trench coats. Yeah.
That's really iconic.
Yeah, that's very iconic. That's very iconic.
So
that's where
you got married.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, that's where you're from. From Gisenyi.
Well, no, not Gisenyi. Just that north part, like near Musanze. You know what I mean? Is And yeah, you know.
Right. Do you ever wonder that maybe your kid might need to have this random environment in him before he grows up?
Of course, oh, of course. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, he's gonna love Rwanda, and they're gonna love him.
I was wondering what's your goal in the near future and in the future. What's your end game?
You know what the end game is for the next generation of African artists, African American artists, even
Right.
and I even throw Jamaican artists in there. Just British, Black British is the end game is that the next generation has it way better than this generation, so that it always continues to upward trajectory. Right now, and it's not just music. This is culture. This is and the monetization and the economics of culture. You know what I mean? Is that we know how great and how beautiful the art or the work we do is that we have a sense of kind of ownership and we get rewarded not just fairly but well. You know what I mean? For this, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I would really like to ask, what was the challenges? You finished college, right, in economics, and then you jumped into this type of like career that really connects with people a lot, right? So what were the challenges going through that kind of path?
The biggest challenge, that's a that's a really good question too, by the way. Um, the biggest challenge I've had so far has to be patience. You know, the things take time. Things take time. Things. I was in the music video world for a long time. Even a music video, even a song will be hot, right? Let's say it's on the radio, it's everyone loves it, but it still took a lot of time to the pre-production and the treatment. They give the treatments is the shoots, then the edits, the post production, putting editing into one thing, and then there was the standards, and then there was closed caption. There were so many processes. This is when I was in the music video world. There was so many processes,
Yeah.
and a lot of people like to say trust the process. You know, is you just continue, you just go forward, you just put all your heart in every step, so that the final product can be really good. So patience and trusting the process has probably been my biggest challenge, where you don't know where this is going and you don't know if to succeed, and then also yeah, that's it.
Upon like starting your career, you started working with PDD, or was it another company?
No, no, that was later. I worked with Puff later on. So I started as doing internships. So in the US, I don't know in Rwanda if they do unpaid internships, but
Yeah,
in the
we do
US
have that. Yeah.
you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did 3 unpaid internships, right?
Wow.
Uh, because that's how bad I wanted it. I'm not gonna. That's the only reason, and also they were worth it because I. Well, 2 of them I got relationships. I interned at an entertainment law firm. When I, you know, what I mean, when I, my cousin Mukesha was living in New York at the time, and she let me stay at her place because if you're not getting paid, like, how you gonna, So
Yeah.
Mukesha, she let me stay at her place in New York. I did another internship at BET. I got a very valuable relationships from that time. Like very,
Wow.
like
Yeah.
when I say valuable, is I learned so much. I grew with the people that like I interned for or at BT I interned with. They became my good trusted friends, and we support each other. We give each other strength. We're rooting for each other. We're keeping ourselves updated, keeping ourselves strong. So for me, the internship thing was more about getting my foot in the door, right? Getting my foot in the door, and sometimes you have to sacrifice. Like you don't only think about the money, right? Sometimes sometimes you have to think about the long term, and that's building good relationships, knowing people know how you work, right? And knowing people who see you grow because they feel invested when they've seen you when you were still learning, like when you're still maybe a little bit nervous, maybe a little bit thing, and then all of a sudden now you have confidence and you're doing it really well. You know why? Because of practice. So that's how I look at internships. I look at it as practice. So it's not the game. It's the practice, and that makes you better for the game. Sometimes we get so caught up in money. If you're an artist and you love your craft, that will come. That will come. You just keep doing it, and whether you're getting an instant reward for it or not, you get better, and then.
Understand.
Can I say something also about Rwanda?
Yeah.
I came to Rwanda, I think it was 2006. It was a FestPad, right? And they had a conference at this. At that time, it was called the Intercontinental Hotel. It wasn't the Serena Hotel, right?
Yeah.
And they had a conference there. And at that time, right? That time, I met with artists in Rwanda, and I remember telling them about MySpace and all these things. I mean, the high five was popular, I think, at the time, etc. Even YouTube was happening in America, and at that time, though, you know what those artists told me? At that time, they were like, "You're talking about these things on the internet, where at the time there were electricity problems, right?"
Yeah.
Those electricity problems disappeared within a few years, right? This is 2006. Within a few years, the connectivity, Rwanda's connectivity has increased so much, right?
Yeah, really fast. Yeah,
really fast. So even the way that we're communicating right now, etc. We're not. It's not expensive, right?
it's not.
Is as technology gets better, as data becomes less expensive, right? Is the people who are prepared, the people who are working on their craft, right? I'm talking about artists. I'm talking about creatives. I'm specifically talking to creatives that we're working on the craft. But when we get to that point of improvement for the whole world, by the way, right? The whole world, and when the world becomes smaller, the opportunities will become even more. In terms of exporting your services, I'm not talking about domestically. Domestically, that can happen all you want. You see what I'm saying? We can buy baskets and nice, you know what I mean? But the export potential.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, would you say that music outside the music industry now that is mostly online because of the pandemic? Would you say that it's really actually helping, in terms of recognition and revenue? Would you say that it's bringing something new, or is it kind of really slow?
Yeah, because you online, you can reach more people. You know what I mean? You can reach more people. I'm talking about theoretically. I'm not saying more people are being reached right now. More people faster. You can reach more people. Reach more people faster. And also it removes barriers to entry, right? So here, I'll give you an example. So if I'm Diamond Platinums or let's say Mehdi, right? Or the Ben, let's say the Ben. Let's just run these examples, right? If I'm Mehdi or the Ben or is the level, the playing field is leveled. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Is my Wi-Fi or is just as strong? Is just it reaches just as much as this? Yeah, you get it. You get it. Yeah.
So back to my question. I was asking if you really were passionate about going into this music industry, or did it just happen instantly after college?
No, no, no. You know what? My passion comes from my father. My
Right.
father was very passionate about music, and he used to play a lot of like a lot of like Lingala records. These Lingala records, these Franco and Rocher Road. You know those and everything. So and a lot of Bob Marley and Commodores and Simon and Garfunkel, and he played Eagles. So my passion comes from my dad.
So I think that was all. I think that was all. Is there anything you would give as a message to the artists that are struggling, or the creative that actually like really putting in work to get where they want to be?
Yeah, here is collaborate, work with each other, because when you collaborate, you get better. There's a little bit of competition, right? Because you want to be just as good as the person you're collaborating with, right? You create a movement. Is Rwanda's small, right? So the way that small places punch above their weight, meaning in boxing, if I'm a small guy,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
I might have to go faster, or I might have to be swifter,
yeah,
I might have to, etc. I might have to.
Yeah.
Is when you know that, right? When the population is small, then you have to go. That means the unity has to be tighter. You see what I'm saying? The communication has to be
yeah.
even more frequent. That you create your own buzz, right? You make your stuff popular, and then when people and you collaborate with other people in other countries, and when they come, they feel like they're tapping into a movement, right? That is bigger than just that one artist or that one producer or that one. And I watched Teddy Riley go to Rwanda. I really really loved seeing him in Rwanda. That was amazing.
Yeah,
That was incredible. Yeah, but you know why? Because
Yeah.
Teddy Riley. The thing is, Teddy Riley is he founded like entire genres. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
created new sounds, that was inspiring to even watch him on YouTube. I watched him on YouTube talking to. I was so inspired, and to see the level of interest. That was great. And also Visit Rwanda. The Visit Rwanda's doing such a great job. Like I love that campaign.
Yeah, it's really like bringing up this image.
Yeah. Oh. This is the best. Whenever I see the Arsenal, and I see the, I just want to support more. Like,
Yeah.
So
Do you watch football?
No, I don't. But
And
when I
How
see
would you,
it,
how would you watch Arsenal?
but when I see it, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wait, yeah. Like, I watch the big games,
for sure.
and then my dad watches it. So, but when I see this run, I just feel,
Yeah.
like okay, this is aggressive marketing, and I love that. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
world class. That's what I'm talking about. Even when I go to a coffee shop and I see Rwanda coffee, like that makes me feel proud. You know why?
Yeah.
It's because
Right.
is because I know that it requires even more effort. You know what I mean? It requires vision, and risk taking. You know what I mean? Like to compete on a world stage on that level. And I know that it's just the beginning too. I know that there's even more categories, because when you go to Rwanda, Rwanda's pride is so high, and yeah.